Hello guys, welcome to Gongura Guidance. My name is Subash, and this is a little bit about myself. So basically, this is the second video regarding essay paper. In the first video, I've already talked about basic strategy that you have to incorporate from intro to body and then conclusion. What all sub themes you have to go about to maintain the flow, and how you need to keep on using the keywords of the quote such that you're sticking close to the topic, and how to select a topic and how to write a good intro and good conclusion and divide it into various sub themes in the body part and all those. So in this video, I'll be showing you some things which I have collected during the course of my essay preparation. So this is the second part of the essay series. So these are basically my dedications, and whatever I'm going to tell you, I have learned from these people. So I would like to give credit to them. So first thing is one thing I want to tell you. Just keep in mind some sentences which you can use in the introduction part. So whenever you are writing the sub explanation or thesis statement, especially the thesis statement, just keep in mind to start the para with to paraphrase after the explanation. It will give the examiner a good impression that he's trying to paraphrase, or in other words, or in simpler words, you can use such kind of sentences in for writing the thesis statement. And for writing the preface para, you need to write on these lines. I intend to explore these dimensions, or I'll be discussing these dimensions, or this essay will discuss or focus on these dimensions, or in order to discuss these, I intend to promote the essay, or I'll be analyzing the essay. So you can write this, or you can even avoid this. So let's begin or something. No need to write this. So just keep that in mind. And one more thing I want to tell you is I've already told you how important the connectors are. They play a huge part in maintaining the flow, especially when you are covering a particular sub theme. So keep this in mind. You can use further, also, even, similarly, moreover, another on the same lines, such things. So rather than repeating same thing again and again, something like also every time, you can use multiple connectors like this. And whenever you're going to the antithesis part, you can use while this is so, this all there is also other view that or something on that line, and or however the other opposite might also be possible, so in that lines. And one more thing I want you to note down is see, this is the antithesis part I am talking about. While it can be argued that basically you are arguing about for the thesis part, and then before starting the antithesis, you can start something on this line. While it can be argued that the opposite can also be possible, or something on that lines. And after the antithesis part, you can write something like the bulk of the available evidence points to the fact that this is the case. However, the opposite also can be true, or the upshot of the analysis. This comes in the conclusion part, something on these lines. Or while writing antithesis, you can write contrary to the fact, or on the contrary, or after analyzing this, let's analyze this more. These are all connectors. Basically, is what I would like to um, help you understand and start using these when you are actually writing the essay, so that the flow remains in the essay. Having analyzed this aspect, now I would like to discuss when you are basically changing from one sub theme to other. Once you have written what after explaining what it is, the keywords and defining them, you can write something like, having analyzed this aspect, now I would like to discuss how it is important, or something on that lines. And also, specifically, if you want to emphasize something, such as in conclusion part, after you're given a summary, if you want to write the synthesis part, in order to emphasize this point, you can use this. In order to emphasize this point, also I would like to point, or something on that lines. However, it is a double-edged sword, especially when writing antithesis. So basically, keep this in mind. Moreover, there are other convincing arguments to look up such news. So just keep them in mind. So usually this on these lines you can write. And whenever you're trying to brainstorm about the antithesis, just try to focus on the missed aspects. Every quote is not completely relevant or true. There will be some missed aspects. You can try to write one point of that, or you can write completely opposite is also true. We know anekantavada or syadvada, how nothing is universally true. So in some situations, there will be some few situations where the quote might not actually be true. So you can try to utilize such opposite views also, or you can also always give alternate solutions, which are even better than what the quote is actually trying to suggest. So such things can come in the antithesis part. And one more thing, in the concluding phrases also I want to highlight. All these I'm telling you just to maintain the flow in the essay part basically. So finally, concludingly, as I've argued, the bulk of the evidence points to, as I've shown, suggested, all these are basically the concluding phrases where you should write the concluding paragraph starting with such lines. Based on the evidences, it can be concluded that, so such things. So again, the five primary institutions I've already talked about in the previous video. Just look, these are only just elaboration of those. I think five key institutions are enough because there are many sub themes to cover. Don't just keep on elaborating on the how part only. It is the most important, but other parts are also equally a bit important only. And as I've already told you, I'm not very good at using headings. So even though I started collecting them and tried to use them in the initial part, I couldn't do so. But if you are able to, just try to keep these in mind. These are basically the headings that I've collected. So whenever you are going to write antithesis, you can quote, keep a heading something as dark clouds. And whenever you are writing the conclusion or synthesis part, you can keep a heading of every cloud has a silver lining, seeing the positive aspects after a negative thing. Or something like for antithesis, white went down in flames. These are all basically a little bit fancy terms which you can use in the headings. Simply writing whatever is there in the quote and putting a generic GS type of heading would make an impression to the examiner that you are basically dividing the essay into multiple 10 markers and you are simply writing them in paragraphs, answering the 10 markers in paragraphs rather than in points. So I want to use such fancy headings so that it looks more on the essay lines and not a GS answer. So we haven't missed the boat, something like that. Two sides of the coin, the other side of the coin. Such kind of headings you can actually use. Blessing in disguise, which actually means that which actually means that even though it is something bad, uh, but there is also silver lining to it. Something as it is actually good only, but on the face value it doesn't seem like a good thing. So he's saying that it is a blessing in disguise. Better late than never. Do something, even though it has already become late. It is still better late than never. And to emphasize again, once again, basically in the concluding part, you can use this, hit the nail on the head. And devil lies in the detail. Basically, when explaining part what it is actually is, you can use this heading, devil lies in the detail. And add insult to injury when writing points about the antithesis. You can such things, add insult to injury or barking up the wrong tree, something. These are all fancy phrases or terms which you can actually use either in the para starting as connectors, or you can use them as headings. So this is one of my favorite thing to use in the conclusion. I do not use it in as a heading, but usually I use it as a starting connector to cut the long story short, and then basically I'll be starting my conclusion part of the essay. Um, so basically, playing devil's advocate, you can quote it for antithesis part. The devil's advocate is someone who always try to show what is wrong, even in the most correct things. Moot point is something which doesn't have much importance. So something only has importance on letter and not much in spirit. Something on that lines. So these are all fancy terms. If we had a dollar every time this happened, when you are stressing the point that something negative is happening multiple times. So to emphasize that, you can use basically in the antithesis part something you can use is if you had a dollar every time this happened. When concluding the antithesis part, you can use it in phrasal sentences. So this is the most important part which I want to stress this in this video. The rest are just the which I've collected over my course of my UPSC essay preparation. So this is the thing which I want to stress you. These are the favorite UPSC topics which it keeps on repeating. Even though there is no specific syllabus exactly to the UPSC, you can kind of identify, limit your essay preparation to these topics so that you can you feel comfortable when choosing a topic on or actually attempting the essay, but keep in mind that these are all not exhaustive. These are just some topics which are favorite of UPSC and it keeps on asking. uh, One theme which UPSC is frequently asked is risk taking. One quote which I can remember on this theme is how the ship is safe in the harbor, but it is not what ship is meant for. Or smile, happiness, joy, gratitude. These are all very famous UPSC topics. Simplicity is have some joy or something on that lines. Many quotes are, one quote has come before, and love is something on these lines. I'm exactly unable to remember the quotes, but these are the themes on which UPSC asks the quotes. Middle path, especially that quote of wantlessness is utopia and materialism is chimera. Basically, it is talking about the middle path. Don't go to any extreme. Wantlessness is utopia, something which is ideal, not practically possible, and materialism is chimera, something like a cancer or some demon, some sort of thing. So history repeating also is UPSC's favorite topic. It tries to ask it in multiple times. Like, history repeats itself, or history does not repeat, but it definitely rhymes. Or history repeating shows that we learn nothing from history. Something on that lines. History repeating, UPSC keeps on asking. And one more favorite topic is individual versus society. Basically, who is important? Individuals' own rights and freedoms, they are important, or our duties and actions towards betterment of society, which are more important. Because there is a specific judicious mix of both should actually be there in every society to allow the individual to reach his highest possible better version of best version of himself, and for also the society to be harmonious, there should be a judicious mix. So UPSC tries to ask in these lines. And good life, what do you mean by good life? Good life is one which is a combination of love and knowledge, such kind of things. UPSC tries to ask what is good life according to you, what is a new age woman, such kind of things UPSC tries to ask. Again, rights versus duties is similarly on the lines of individual versus society only. So what rights an individual has, or what duties which an individual has to perform with society, a nice mix of balance between both those two, such kind of things UPSC is frequently asked. And persuasion is one topic which UPSC keeps on asking. So this is also one topic which you can prepare beforehand, so that you have better examples and quotes or some poems or speeches or something on that lines. One more famous topic which comes to mind is women, one children. There is that quote of the hand which rocks the world rules the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So it can be interpreted that women rule the world. Basically, mothers are ruling the world, or it can also be interpreted as those societies which are better taking of care of the children, they are ruling the world. Something I wrote it on this perspective, and I got decent marks of 120 or something in that year. So I don't remember, but you can basically the essay is on women. See, this is what I'm trying to stress. It won't matter what majority people are trying to take the meaning out of the quote, but it will definitely matter that you have tried to explain what your understanding of the quote is to the examiner, and you have maintained a flow throughout the essay, and you have maintained you have actually stuck to the topic, close as possible to the topic. So that is one. Seizing opportunity is one thing which UPSC asks. One quote which I can remember is this 2022's quote only. Something repair your roof when there is sunshine, something on that lines. And reflection about yourself, how you are whether you are able to reflect about yourself and improve or not. And purpose of your life. This is also one of the favorite UPSC topics. Realizing the purpose, or trying to pursue your purpose and succeeding. Success also in part of this only. Success also he tries to ask in multiple dimensions, like accepting failure and then improving. So that kind of thing. And tries to divide the justification between traditional society and modern society. And greed you can ignore. I think once or twice only UPSC asked, but not that favorite. But rest are what the themes which you can actually prepare essays beforehand. These themes have actually been previously asked in the UPSC. So these becomes our syllabus for our UPSC preparation. You have to have content for these beforehand. You should not go to the examination hall and then see the quote and then think and keep on examples. For all these things, make sure that you have introductions, good examples in multiple dimensions, and good conclusions also for women, for children. Keep on collecting some quotes. And some anecdotes which I want to tell you, which you can actually use in your essay, are these: Confucius and the Madman. Basically, this anecdote you can use for dignity of human rights, all such things. Basically, the story goes on like there is a madman in a village, and he's probably um the probably creating chaos in the village and disturbing everyone. Such kind of nuisance he's creating. So all the villagers go to the Confucius and ask, "Are Confucius, how should we deal with this madman?" So Confucius simply replies, "That deal him like every other human being only. What is special about him?" So this shows that every individual, be it a mad person or very knowledgeable person, be it rich, be it poor, be it male, female, you should rise above all such differential markers and try to find the moral dignity and worth of every individual. So you can use this anecdote for such kind of essay topics. And this is my favorite anecdote. Even though the quote comes, just keep it in mind for your UPSC preparation. There are two tree cutters. They are sitting on they are working on respective tree on the same forest and cutting multiple trees. So one tree cutter actually keeps on working from early morning till late in the evening. The other tree worker also works for the same time period from early morning till evening. He's his friend only. But the only thing which he does differently is for every in afternoon every day he disappears for 1 or 2 hours or something, and finally when they see it at the end of the day, the second tree cutter, who is actually working for 1 or 2 hours less, is actually cutting more trees. So the first person gets confused and asks the second person, "Arey, where are you going? You are disappearing for 1 or 2 hours and still you are able to cut more trees than me. What is actually happening?" So he says that, "Arey, I'm just taking a rest and trying to sharpen my knife. That's it." So basically, this is what this anecdote tries to say, that you need to actually, rather than doing simply hard work, you need to focus, you need to do a little bit of smart work also. So improve your talent, improve your skills, improve your such things, so that the efficiency can ultimately be improved. Basically, what is our ultimate end goal? You need to improve the efficiency rather than putting just the hours. Put those hours in an efficient manner. So such things you can actually use in your UPSC preparation. And one more thing which I like to this anecdote, which I think most of you would have heard, Anguli Mala and Buddhas. So basically, he's a very dreaded person who is fearing all the villages and something. He's a murderer or robber or such kind of things, all negative things about him. One day, Buddha is walking in the forest and he meets the Buddha and he asks Buddha to stop. So Buddha won't stop. He pursues him further and he asks him to stop, but Buddha will never stop. So finally he asks, "Arey, why am I unable to catch you and why am I unable to stop you?" So Buddha will reply to him, "Angulimala, I have already stopped. It is time that you stopped violence." So for violence, impatience, intolerance, or controlling negative emotions, all those things, you can use this as a good introductory anecdote. And this is also this tree cutter and Kamlesh Kumar. These are my favorite anecdotes. Kamlesh Kumari is once tried to find out CSF or CRPF CRPF police person during 2001 parliamentary attack. She was the one who was actually tracking all those terrorists and giving information to the other police officers regarding their movements and whereabouts when actually tracking them and neutralizing them. So without any gun, just based on bravery, she pursues them constantly and keep on giving their information through walkie-talkie to our intelligence forces. and finally help our intelligence forces in neutralizing them. So just search for her, very inspiring story. And finally she succumbs to to her bullet injuries. She'll suffer some multiple bullet injuries, and still she keeps on pursuing them, and gives information, very vital information on their whereabouts, which actually help ultimately our intelligence personnel neutralize the threats. 2001 Parliament attack, Kamlesh Kumari. For women, for bravery, for resilience, even after suffering injuries, she's still pursuing such kind of things. All those things, she's uh, very inspiring figure. So just keep in mind her story. And another um, anecdote which I want to tell you. These are not that much important, but they are famous anecdotes. If you are able to fit them, you can always use them. One is the allegory of caves by Plato. Basically, it stresses upon the reflection part. Basically, in a cave, there are multiple people. They have never come out of that cave, and they think they are basically behaving like frogs in the well. They have never seen the outside world. Whatever they are experiencing, they'll believe that is only the ultimate reality, and that is only what worldview or everything is about. So basically, when you are trying to talk about anekantavada or opposite view, such other things, or self-reflection, everything others, so you can try to use this allegory of caves. If you are unable to understand any of these anecdotes that I am trying to tell you, just search for them on Google or ChatGPT. You will simply get a simple explanation which you can actually use in your things. If you are unable to understand any of the explanation part which I am trying to say, just collect them and see where you can apply, and then store them in whatever notes you have. Don't just simply listen to all these anecdotes and collect them in your notes, because then you won't be unable to use them. You have to know where which to for which parts we are going to use which anecdote. For Confucius and Madman, you need to know beforehand that if anything relates to human dignity, you should use this. Tree cutter for efficiency or smart work or something like that. For cutting down violence or something like that, you need to know this. So such kind of things, prepare beforehand where you are going to use them also. Just don't simply learn the anecdotes, also know where you are going to use them also. That is what I want to say. And this is also one of my favorite anecdotes, tale of two wolves. Even though if it is not useful in UPSC, it can definitely be useful in your whole life journey also. This is a kid will ask his grandfather, Are, tell me something like bedtime story or something. His grandfather will say, there are two wolves basically in every human being. One is based on love, one is based on empathy, one is based on charity, one is based on all the good things which you can think of. Love, friendship, trust, all the other good things which you can think of. And the other wolf is based on all the negative things which you can think of: jealousy, manipulation, lying, cheating, stealing, all those things. All such negative emotions, anger, disgust, all such negative emotions and negative things which you can think of is the second wolf. He says, his grandfather says that these two wolves are there in every individual. So the kid asks the grandfather, so then which wolf will win? So the grandfather simply replies that whatever wolf you feed through your thoughts and actions, that wolf will win. So basically, every human being is capable of both the positive and negative things, and in multiple situations. So we need to understand that what we are feeding through our thoughts and emotions and actions, that will only ultimately reflect outside. So this is a good anecdote which you can use for self-reflection, introspection, or mm, or basically emotional intelligence. All such things you can use this anecdote. And not getting carried away by being foolish, or not getting carried away by praises or such kind of things, you can use this anecdote. This is not much important for UPSC perspective. I don't know why I collected this, but I'll just briefly tell you. Few clothes sellers, basically they'll come to the new kingdom. They'll realize that the emperor is stupid and foolish. He'll just simply fall for praises. So they'll go to the emperor and they'll show that they have prepared some new clothes which no one else has prepared in this whole world. And basically the emperor has to wear them nude and he'll be completely invisible. So basically the emperor falls to their trap. This is basically you can use for manipulation also, or such other things. And he goes into the whole kingdom completely nude, thinking that he has actually worn those clothes and he's invisible now. He goes on to check these people. And one more thing which you can use this is how people are silent in face of power or authority, because all the kingdom people, even though they can tell the emperor that he's actually nude and he's not wearing any invisible clothes or any other things, they'll just remain silent, fearing power or authority, or fearing his uh, negative reaction or something. So for that also, when we also you do that multiple times, for that also you can use this Newton anecdote. And and one more thing which you can use for purpose is anecdote is Tolstoy's three questions. This is also called three seers or something. Just try to find the spelling of seers. I'm exactly not sure. So it is also called Tolstoy's three questions or Tolstoy's three seers. So basically that anecdote goes on like a king wanted to find out the ultimate truth about reality or something. So basically he goes and finds some sage in one place. He asks him when is the best time to do things. Basically the sage replies that whenever you have power over what you control, that is the best time to do. So basically the right this moment, that is the present, is what you have only control of. You don't have control over the past, it has already happened. You don't have control of your future. We don't know, nothing, anything can happen at any time. Nothing is in your hand. What you have control is exactly this present moment. So utilize this present moment. This is what the sage will reply. And the second one is, who is the most important person in this whole world? So person who is engaged with every person is important. So if you are trying to do some specific thing, you are most important. If you are trying to help another person, then you are the most important person. So such thing. And what is the right thing to do? This is what the third question which the king asks. And the answer which again the sage gives is, do good, be with kindness and compassion. This is the right thing to do. This is something similar on the lines of Gandhi's talisman, or Kant's categorical imperative. So such things you can use for a purpose or in such other things. And if the quote is based on purpose, these are the poems that I've collected to use in the introduction hook part of the essay. Just try to keep these in mind. So for the purpose I'm sorry, for the purpose, see, basically whatever poems I'm trying to tell you, anecdotes or such things, just simply listening won't actually help. You need to collect them in your notes and by heart them, and then actually use them during brainstorms. Even though you are not writing all the 4 lines, you just need to think in mind, okay, I'll write this poem, these 4 lines I'll be writing as hook, then I'll explain it and connect it to the demand of the essay, and then I'll write the thesis statement, then I'll write preface statement, then I'll define what it is, why, like how I explained in the previous video you need to do. So basically don't just watch this video and leave it. Please by heart it, and whenever you are doing brainstorming of the quotes, try to just mentally revise them in your mind, even though you are not actually writing on paper. That will actually help in quickly recalling during the exam. Basically simply this is by hearting only. I'm just telling it in fancy words. So just by heart is what I'm actually trying to say. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And this is a famous poem by Robert Frost. Even the poem is very simple, it is a very famous poem. Every English literature optional student knows it, and most likely the paper, the evaluators who are correcting the paper will know it. So it will strike a chord with them. So just try to use it. And for reflection or making a choice or self-reflection or such kind of things, you can use the road not taken. I've used this quote in 2023 essay paper for as a hook. Not all wanderers are lost. So for that I wrote this and try to connect it such as, why is Robert Frost even trying to where is Robert Frost wandering? Is he actually lost, or does he have a destination in mind and he's just trying to make a choice? So such kind of a connection to the quote I tried to made after quoting this, and then try to go on with the thesis statement and then preface statement. Such kind of things I did. So when it comes to risk taking, such as the ship is safe in the harbor, but it is not what a ship is meant to be. It needs to go on into the ocean and take risks or find its purpose in life, or such kind of things, or any other quote regarding risk taking. You can quote this Rabindranath Tagore's Ekla Chalo Re. Just try to this is actually a Bengali poem. This is the English version of it. If you are able to remember it, remember it. These are the things which I try to by heart. Some things I was actually able to by heart by the end of the essay preparation. Some things I just corrected but I couldn't. You don't do that mistake. By heart beforehand itself. Don't wait for the last moment. And something like hierarchy, something like patriarchy, or some other negative things you can use. Any negative theme based essay, mostly you can use this neutral poem. This is a neutral poem. And one more thing I want to stress is collect some neutral poems which even though if you are writing some new theme based quote, you are able to extract the key concept of the quote and then make a poem then and there itself. Basically, you are not making the poem, you are utilizing the poem just replacing one word with the key concept of the other word, just like how Gautam Vivekananda did. Basically, what he did was there was this big quote by Abdul Kalam, where there is righteousness in his heart, there is harmony in home. When there is harmony in home, there is order in societies. It goes on like that. So basically, he replaced righteousness in heart with happiness in heart. Very innovative use of existing quotes. So which is actually quite good, and it exactly fitted into his essay also, as I've already shown in previous video. So such kind of neutral frameworks you need to have beforehand. So this is such kind of neutral framework using something like some negative things like A and B, they'll always try to justify C. Basically, this is a the actual poem is for war. I am unable to exactly remember. Using some justice and other things, they'll always just try to justify war. It is for a just cause, they'll say, but is it the only way? But you can simply replace war with hierarchy or patriarchy, that key negative word will come here. And using some trickstery or mystery, they'll always try to justify history. It is for a just cause, they'll say, but is it the only way? This is completely neutral. There is no need to change the second two lines. Only the first two lines you need to change this A, B, and C part. Using some tragedy or farce, they'll always try to justify patriarchy, or they'll always try to justify hierarchy. It is for a just cause, they'll say, but is it the only way? It is basically evoking a question in the examiner. So another famous poem that I've risk taking purpose, all such things. One more poem which I've collected is this is Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Many of these poems are actually quite inspiring also. Even though you are not able to use them, they'll actually help you in pursuing the UPSC syllabus. So even though you're not using them, just try to apply it in your UPSC preparation. They'll help you a lot. Whenever you're feeling down, just come back and see one or two poems. You might feel motivated to do. It matters not how straight the gate. It's trying to say it doesn't matter how difficult it is to breach the grade or something like that. How charged with punishments the scrolls. Basically, scroll is what they used to write all the punishments and give judgments previously in those times. So it doesn't matter how many punishments you are given. You are the master of your fate and you are the captain of your soul. You can take your life's destiny into your hands, and you can do so. Such kind of things, risk-taking purpose, you can use such beautiful poems. All these poems are very famous poems. Every English literature optional people, not just optional people, English literature degree students, they'll definitely know this, and most likely the person who is correcting the essay paper, I'm hoping they'll know this. So only such kind of famous poems only I've collected. And this is another famous poem, If by Rudyard Kipling. If you want to use it for stressing on the middle path, so just try to see if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. Basically, it's talking about remaining humble and moving on with crowds and still keeping your morals. So such things he's talking about. This poem is If by Rudyard Kipling. This is only one part of the poem. The other part is you can use for risk taking. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss. Basically, he's talking about pitch and toss, and betting all your life's earnings on one such stupid risky game, and lose and still begin once again in your life, not get disheartened or not get humbled by your loss, and not breathe a word about it, not just complaining, cribbing and complaining. So he's talking about such things. Even though you're not able to use these things, just keep it in your notes. They can actually help you finish this long marathon journey of UPSC For women, I collected this poem, Yatra Naryastu Pujyante Ramante Tatra Devata. This is its explanation, where women are worshipped, their God reside. For hard work or success, you can use this Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathi. So only through hard work can one achieve success, and not through wishes or desires. Basically, not through simply wishing or desiring, but you have to actually you have to actually do hard work. So leave this. This I have collected from Gautam Vivekananda or some other essay topper's copy only. Not much useful for UPSC preparation. This is one such neutral poem which I am trying to talk about. In every heart, plant. This is the neutral thing which I am talking about. Plant any positive emotion, happiness, or empathy, compassion, kindness. All you can use any such thing. This is a neutral poem written by no one, written by ChatGPT. I have collected this from ChatGPT. Simple poems, neutral poems. So in every heart, plant. For example, if the quote is on kindness, just think of this as kindness. In every heart, plant kindness as a seed. Grow it well in word and deed. For in this world of dark and plight, kindness makes the day shine bright. So you simply replace kindness with any other thing which you want to write the quote on. Start it with this, or it's your wish. And this is one such neutral poem for any negative situation. So basically, this is talking about something like some negative situation has occurred, and now you're trying to recover from that loss, or trying to show strength or resilience, courage. So dealing with any negative situation, this actually helps. So in storms of life, when skies turn grey, remember this, come what may. Basically, here you have to use your resilience resides deep inside, or right beside, something like that. Your resilience resides deep inside. With its strength, you will reach the other side. Basically, it's trying to navigate the very negative situation, and the key word comes here: resilience, perseverance, or any other thing which you can think of. So one more famous poem which of Tagore from Gitanjali. So basically, this is also you can use for courage or such other things, where the mind is without fear, head is held high. Don't quote the whole poem. This is a very big poem. If you can remember specific lines, just try to remember specific lines and know where you can use those lines beforehand also. When the mind is led by ever widening thought or action. So basically talking about opening your horizons, so opening up to multiple perspectives, not having intolerance, such kind of things. So you can use this. And for women also you can use this Maya Angelou's poem. This is also very famous poem for resilience, perseverance, women related. You can use it. You may write me down in history with your bitter and twisted lies. You may trod me down in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. So very inspiring poem, and very famous poem. It is very famous. That is why I've collected it. And this is not much useful. This is a good famous poem only, but it is a little bit hard to memorize. So just leave it. And this is one quote which I've tried to collect. This is a very famous speech by Hillary Clinton at fourth UN World Conference of Women in Beijing. Basically, the essence is I unnecessarily collected all it. It's not useful. Basically, hook should be within 3 or 4 lines, at max 4 lines. If it is a poem, 4 lines. If you can condense it to 2 or 3 lines, it is even better. So don't quote all such. Don't collect like me unnecessarily all those things. Just 4 lines can be. If there is one message that echoes from this conference, let it be that human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights once and for all. This much is enough. This is the core theme of this whole speech. This is a very famous speech. This is the thing which Gautam Vivekananda actually used. Where there is righteousness in his heart, he replaced righteousness with happiness. Very innovative thing. There is beauty in character. When there is beauty in character, there is harmony in home. And don't simply use such kind of neutral things. They should actually resemble what you are trying to say in the essay. Simply writing a quote won't help. This is what I did in 2022 attempt, and I've suffered. I got a very average marks of 101. After getting average marks only, I tried to radically change my essay preparation. Basically, I got this with very less preparation. Basically, this marks is what I regret a bit, but still okay. It's fine. There is so. Yes, this is what I'm trying to say. Basically, don't simply quote it. quote it because it serves the purpose of bringing the flow or maintaining structure in your answer, and it is relevant to the quote. So that is what I'm trying to say. This is another famous speech by Martin Luther King. Everybody knows about this. I have a dream that one day. So I don't need to explain. You can use it for against racism. You can use it for human dignity. You can use it for nation building. Many other things you can use it. So don't use all the speech. Use just 4 lines. I have a dream that one day the nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. That we hold these truths to be self-evident and that all men are created equal. Don't just confuse this with all men means only men, both men and women. This is the mistake that I have did in 2022. I don't know why I wrote the whole speech of not whole speech but many lines I have quoted of this Nehru's Tryst with Destiny speech, which doesn't even align with the theme of the essay. I just wanted to try to align the quote with importance of nation as India. That was my thinking during that time. So I thought that if I'm in the conclusion part, if I'm trying to quote one speech and align the quote to the India's welfare or something, I'll get good marks. But that is actually not true. I just got 101. So yeah, don't commit my mistake. And few examples which I've already collected. Since I've already collected, I'm just going to give you. If you can use it for curiosity. You can use Albert Einstein, many inventions, many intellectual pursuits, Madame Curie for radium and other such discoveries, Leonardo da Vinci, numerous fields, painting, mathematics, many things, not just one thing. Steve Jobs for innovation, curiosity, Apple, Newton for discovery of gravity, Elon Musk, again numerous inventions, Tesla, SpaceX, multiple things. And one anecdote which I want to tell you is basically remaining calm or having a clear mind, or basically for curiosity also you need to have clear mind. And for wisdom you need to know that you do not know anything. So such kind of there is one Socrates paradox, which is also called true wisdom means you know that you know nothing. So basically it's not that you know nothing, it's just you know that you know nothing. You realize that you know nothing. There is much more in this complex and huge and vast world. What you know is only nothing, and remaining humble or humility is what actual wisdom is. That is what Socrates paradox. You know that you know nothing. That is what wisdom is. So for that you can quote this anecdote also. Zen, basically a disciple goes to Japanese monk, Zen, practicing Zen. He asks, why am I unable to learn? So teapots are famous in Japan. So basically the monk asks to fill the cup. So the disciple tries to fill the cup. It slowly gets filled and it overflows. But the monk doesn't tell to stop. He still asks him fill more. Then the disciple realizes, but it is already overflowing. How can I fill more? It is getting wasted. So then the monk tells that that is how your mind is. If you have already filled it with all garbage, dustbin, and you treating it like dustbin, putting all negative things or useless things or unnecessary things, how can you keep necessary things in its mind? It also has some capacity. So you need, basically to learn more, you need to understand that what you know is less. Remove all such negative bias and such things and empty your mind, and you need to learn. This is also one of my favorite anecdote. Not just UPSC preparation, it helps in life also. The thing is, maybe not. Whatever, in this very long UPSC journey, you'll be facing multiple scenarios. Some good scenarios, some bad scenarios, and there are numerous people around you will try to either encourage you or try to either discourage you. Both things can happen. So getting carried away during encouragement or prizes or flattery, or getting bogged down during bad phases, or some negative things some relative said, or some friend said, or some teacher said. So you shouldn't do both. Just behave like this Chinese farmer. So the anecdote goes on like this. He's some very hardworking Chinese farmer. His horse runs away one day. People will come to him and say, "Arey, how poor you are. how poor you are, your horse has ran away, so you basically lost. So he simply says, maybe you are very sad person. So he says, no, maybe not, anything can happen. So basically after a few days that horse ran away, but it brought along with it multiple horses, group of wild horses. It is like a boon for him. Again the people will come, Arey, how nice thing has happened, you are very lucky person. We thought you lost one horse, but many horses came to you. Then after a few days, while taming those wild horses, his son will break his leg due to some mishap or something. Again, the same crowd, the same society will come. They'll tell him, "Arey, you got a very nice group of wild horses, but your son lost his leg. Where he injured himself. Very sad scenario has happened." Again, he'll say, "Maybe not. Anything can happen," or something like that. And soon there will be conscription in the village. The army people will come, they'll collect all the abled youngsters and they'll go away. Only the farmer's son will be left out. And the society will come, Arey, your son has been spared because of that thing only. Again, such kind of things it will go on. So basically, whatever good thing happens or whatever bad thing happens, you need not get carried away in both the situations. Treat all those things with humility and remain focused on your whatever your dharma or duties. So this is one thing which you can, if not in UPSC exam, you can apply it for your life. So, and one more UPSC's important thing I want to show is it somewhere or the other in ethics or essay it uh, tries to know from you whether how to self improve or how to improve yourself. So basically this I have extracted from GS governance wala part, governance part. So basically define things, set standards, develop capability, perform, then monitor, then evaluate them, and then continuously improve. So each part of this thing can become a para with specific example and explanation part, just like how I have tried to. First, if we want to achieve something, we need to define what we want to achieve, set realistic goals. That comes in here. And first, to achieve those, we need to develop capability. Here comes the role of peers, guidance, all those things. And we have, after getting skill, we have to perform, actual perform. Then we should monitor how we are performing, whether we are performing good, bad, and whether we need to evaluate it so that we can improve. And then whatever feedback we have to give it to ourselves, and we have to continuously improve till we achieve the desired result. This thing you can use in life, you can use for UPSC or UPSC journey or UPSC actual essay or ethics, any other part. And once again, pessimism, I've shown you how you can use that neutral poem for negative negative thing, such thing. So pessimism, I want to talk about is reasons why it is bad. This all these things I've collected. Just try to go on it because of pessimism. Uh, again, regarding the pessimism, just keep these in mind. Uh, it will lead to strained relationships, self-fulfilling prophecy, decreases resilience, improves, promotes negative outlook in life, lead to lost opportunities, diminished enjoyment. Just keep such kind of themes whenever pessimism, collect it for optimism. Similarly, motivation, physical and mental health, social relationships, resilience, adaptability. You will have all these for optimism. You will lose all this for pessimism. Some examples I've collected is Walt Disney, who had unwavering belief even though he was facing his failures in his initial life. Dalai Lama, he always talks about optimism. Oprah Winfrey, he encourages multiple people on optimism. And Gandhi was also such figure. Nelson Mandela, J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling couldn't get her book published many book printing presses. So still, she had optimism that she will succeed one day. Thomas Alva Edison, again, numerous failures. His famous quote is, "I've discovered numerous ways to not to achieve success. I didn't just fail." So, such kind of optimism. Pygmalion effect. One thing which you can specifically use is how you treat life with actually gets reflected back. So you keep on telling a person, "You're good for nothing, good for nothing." He actually turns out to be good for nothing. Something this is on the lines of self-fulfilling prophecy. So Muhammad Ali is also a very famous example for optimism. Uh, such things get realized in reality through bank runs. Everyone, even though everyone will think that bank is going to run out of money, everyone will collect their deposits, and the bank will actually run out of money. This thing actually happened. Stock market crash, Great Depression. So yeah, such things. These are all the things that I've collected. Broken window theory. Whenever things such as broken window or such things are not taken care of, they'll provide an illusion that things, even though if they go wrong here, no one is there to actually correct them. It will basically encourage deviant behavior in it. So this is one sociological concept. If you are aware, you can use it. Power of belief, placebo effect. Sometimes simple medicines which don't even have anything such as placebo also can be given, and actually cure. They can actually cure quite a number of diseases. Many of the godmen work on this only, placebo. So self-defeating prophecies such as the Y2K bug, everyone thought that computers will fail because after the 2000, they could, after the 1999, they haven't yet figured out how to go on with the next years. Second, Helen Keller, multiple disabilities in life. Still, her perspective towards life is what pushed her to become the most famous person. Tools, anecdote, I've already explained. Glass half full, how you are saying it, whether it is glass only half filled or it is whether you are seeing it as half empty. It depends on your perspective, optimism or pessimism. Again, elephant and rope. This is one of my favorite anecdote which I want to say. Basically, you can use it for pessimism. You can use it for half knowledge, or you can use it for one-sided view, not getting complete view, or quick judgments, or stereotypes. All such things you can use this anecdote. Basically, six people will go into the forest. They'll encounter an elephant. All six people are blind people. One will touch its trunk and he'll say that it is like a snake. One will touch its ear and he'll say that it is like a sheet. One will touch its leg and he'll say that it is like a pillar. One will touch its body and he'll say that it is like a wall. One will touch its tail and he'll say that it is like a rope. So each person will touch something, some one part, and but they are all blind. So whatever they feel, they'll explain it, and they keep on fighting among themselves. Then one person will come and tell that it is actually an elephant, and they have each touched only one part of it, and they are coming to conclusions. So quick judgment, stereotypes, pessimism in life, not having complete overview, all such things you can use this quote. Again, happiness, Gautam Vivekananda. These are few directions in which you can think of: positive emotion, satisfaction in life, purpose and fulfillment, optimism, well-being, engagement and flow, meaningful relationships, gratitude, appreciation, all these things. Just try to keep in mind. So once again, this is also a famous anecdote by Socrates. You can use it for gossip. It is not a famous UPSC topic, so not of much use. But misinformation, if you're writing something on social media, misinformation, hate speech, such kind of things, you can actually use it. Such one person will come to Socrates, he'll ask Socrates, "Hey, Socrates, do you know what I've heard? Should I tell you? It is very what you call masala kind of information." So Socrates will simply say, is it what you're going to say, is it actually truth? Then he'll say, "I don't know, I've just heard it from the society or crowd or whatever it is. It can be true, it cannot be true." Then he'll ask, "Is it any good?" Then he's like, "No, no, it's definitely not good, it's something bad only, that is why I want to say." So it's like, "Is it useful for me or for you?" No, it's like, not such any use to it. It's just gossip and something like that I'm trying to say." Then Socrates says, "If it is neither truth nor good nor useful, why are you even telling me?" So such anecdotes we can use in life also. So yeah, and for wisdom, we can think of critical thinking, humility, experience, emotional intelligence, knowledge, all such things. Long term thinking, innovation. Just keep in mind all these things for wisdom. Basically, what I'm trying to say is collect the basic themes of UPSC. See all the previous year quotes that are comfortable for you. Extract some basic themes like how I extracted. You can use those, or you can do research on by yourself, and just keep a few themes on which you can think for them. They'll help you in writing the definition part. They can help you in writing how this specific thing is important, or they can help you in aligning it to the demand of the question. So these are all you need to do beforehand so that it will become a little bit easy for you during the examination hall. This is what I want to say. Again, for risk taking, Just see these initiative, middle path. You can see all this. For middle path, I think there is no other better example than Buddha. But one thing concerning for me is everyone knows about Buddha, so most of the people will write about Buddha. So just if you want to take risk, you can use other things for middle path, which I've quoted before. I'm unable to remember right now. So such things. And there is another famous anecdote from Bhagavad Gita also, which is basically taking the middle path or having control over your emotions. You can write it for anger or sensitive emotions or controlling such things. So basically, or like pursuing life in general. So just like how Krishna, the Hindu god, he's catching those reins of chariot and controlling the horses. If he catches too tight, he's unable to ride properly. If he catches too loose, also the chariot will go as per the wishes of the horse. You need to have a basic balance or middle path. So this is a better anecdote than Buddha. So basically, in this anecdote, we are the self, and we are the rider of our life. So our body is like a chariot, and our intellect, with which we actually are doing the riding, is like a charioteer, and our mind is the reins with which we are trying to, the Krishna is trying to hold and rein in the horses. And the senses are like horses trying to run away in multiple directions. If you are holding them too tight, then the chariot won't go anywhere. If you are trying to completely loosen it and let the senses take over, just like horses, whatever direction they'll go, you will also go in that direction. And the road is like desires or mazes of life which you are actually trying to pursue. So this is a very beautiful quote. Most of the people will be quoting Buddha. You can actually try quoting this. This is also one of my favorite. And some books which I've collected, just see Animal Farm. It talks about how power corrupts. Land of Seven Rivers by Sanjeev Sanyal. So anything regarding culture of India from ancient times till how it has happened. So all such things you can quote. This is seven high habits of highly effective people. Again, self improvement or resilience. In such things you can quote this by a book by Stephen Covey. For women and patriarchy related things, you can quote Second Sex by Simon de Beauvoir. So this is not that much important. Uh, you can quote Brief History of Time by Stephen Covey. These are some books with important ideas which I've collected. They can help in writing your essay. Sapiens book by Harari. 21 Lessons, again the same book by him. Another book by him. So some things just if you can if they are helpful for you, just use them. Stanford Prison Experiment. How this is a good anecdote for mob mentality, group thing, mob lynching, how people get carried away when they are in a crowd. For all such things, this is a very good anecdote. Stanford Prison Experiment. So basically, in this experiment, which is actually been conducted in a university, and it had to be stopped. It was so severe that it actually had to be stopped by the scientists itself, and it evoked multiple ethical reactions later on. So the experiment goes on like some people volunteers are selected from the university, some are given the role of jailers, and some are given the role of prisoners, and they were monitoring them how they actually behave. So jailers, people who were given the role of jailers, even though they are not ordinary people like any other student at the start of experiment, as time was passing, because of the power, because of the authority they have over the prisoners, they were behaving in a very rude way, even to their colleague, even to their friends. So you can think of how power authority corrupts, or how ordinary people, when they are behaving in a group dynamics, they'll change, and such things happen. So another thing is Salem witch trials. So many people were killed in that city, just accusing of witchcraft. So yeah, such things. And again, one concept which is of very helpful in most of this is this concept can be helpful, like how we are able to rise above basic needs and intellectual needs and aesthetic needs, and finally transcendent self-action. Such things come at the end. So this is one concept which you can use, and this is for the students. If you think you can use, then you can try to use it. And this poem is for students. um, Again, for self improvement, you can use this thing, Atomic Habits. If you are trying to improve 1% every day, by the end of the year you will be improving yourself by 38 times. So very, it's like this is the destination you are reaching, just you are deviating by 1%, but by the end of the time you will be as far as this much. But if you are in the right direction, you will use this much. So that kind of difference it can actually make. So keep this in mind. And again, famous anecdote of hair and tortoise. I don't need to explain. Hard work beats talent. Simply, you can use it for attitude is more important than attitude. Such things you can use it in essay also. You can use it in ethics also. This I've already explained. Two tree cutters. Smart work beats hard work. Anguli Mala I've explained. So the tale of tools I've explained. And another thing is not to go with the stereotypes or quick judgments or such things. Again, the same thing. Mother, this is also another famous anecdote which most of us have heard in childhood. A mother will be domesticating a snake. One day she goes to fetch some water and comes back. The snake has full of blood on its head, and it is actually near a baby, near her own baby. So mother thinks that oh my god, the snake has actually killed my baby, and she kills the snake. But what actually she later on realizes is that a mongoose has come. Mongoose was actually trying to harm the baby, and the snake was actually harming, protecting the baby by killing the mongoose, and the blood was of mongoose and not the baby. Baby is completely fine. Then she'll realize how quick judgments or stereotypes or such things can actually impact. Yeah, this is one anecdote. And some quotes for initiative taking. It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Rather than cribbing and complaining, you can take initiative. Just collect such things for AI, reason, rationality. So yeah, again, once again, the connectors. Furthermore, moreover, likewise, in the same at the same time, in conclusion. On the other hand, for this reason, for instance, all such things. Collect all such things. So yeah, this is it from my side, guys. Don't just watch this video and leave it there itself. uh, Keep on practicing essays, keep on you trying to utilize whatever you have by hearted, so that it will actually help you. Thank you.